Shalom everybody, and I'm happy to welcome you in this Hebrew lesson. So in this lesson we're going to learn about the verb likro. So we're going to learn what are the meanings of the verb likro, because the verb likro has several meanings. We're going to learn how to conjugate the verb in present, past tense, future tense, and imperative. And also we're going to learn with which prepositions, in which situations should we use the verb likro. So, without any further ado, let's get started. So first of all, let's find out what is the meaning or meanings of the verb likro. So first of all, it is the verb to read. So it can be to read an article, to read a book, to read whatever. Or to call. And I'm not talking about to call by phone, but rather calling someone to come. So shouting his name and telling him to come. So this is also the action, likro. So which prepositions are used with the verb likro? So the first one is obviously the preposition et, and it answers what is read. So as we know, the preposition et is used when we have something definite. We know that the et preposition is used when we have direct object, accusative case direct objects. So for example, I'm reading the book, אני קורא את הספר, because I'm reading the definite book. Not just any book, but rather the definite book. So this is when we use the et. The le preposition is used when we are calling someone. So for example, it's not by phone because we're using another verb, lehikare. Likro someone, likro le means to call someone by name. Hey, come here. This is the action of calling someone. Or somebody is calling you, come here. Okay, it's not by phone, but rather he's calling your name and he's asking you to come over. And also, in more informal situations, we will use the verb likro to say, what is your name? For example, most of you probably are familiar with the expression, איך קוראים לך. איך קוראים לך is the expression that we use in more informal situations, in more casual situations, asking a person, what is your name? איך קוראים לך, which literally means how they call you, without the personal pronoun they actually appearing in the Hebrew sentence. And also we will use the verb likro together with the preposition al. Al represents the about in Hebrew. So to read about what and to read about who. So for example, אני קורא ספר על George Bush. I'm reading a book about George Bush. זמן הווה, present tense. So let's see how do we conjugate the verb likro in present tense. Okay, so the verb likro is a pa'al verb, and like all verbs in Hebrew, in present tense we have only 4 conjugations. One for masculine singular, one for feminine singular, one for masculine plural, and one for feminine plural. The conjugation for masculine singular is קורא. So, אני קורא, אתה קורא, הוא קורא. Feminine singular, אני קוראת, את קוראת, היא קוראת. Masculine plural, אנחנו קוראים, אתם קוראים, הם קוראים. Feminine plural, אנחנו קוראות, אתן קוראות, הן קוראות. קורא, קוראת, קוראים, קוראות. זמן עבר, past tense. So now let's see how do we conjugate the verb likro in past tense. אני קראתי, אתה קראת, את קראת, הוא קרא, היא קראה, אנחנו קראנו, אתם קראתם, אתן קראתן, הם קראו, הן קראו. זמן עתיד, future tense. אני אקרא, אתה תקרא, את תקראי, הוא יקרא, היא תקרא, אנחנו נקרא, אתם תקראו, אתן תקראו, הם יקראו, הן יקראו. Imperative. So in imperative we have actually two options. The first one is to use the second person future tense conjugation or simply use the imperative conjugation of the verb. So if we will use guf sheni, which is second person in Hebrew, we'll take the conjugation from future tense of the verb likro, which is ata tikra, at tikrei, atem aten tikreu. And to make it imperative, we will get rid of the personal pronoun, and when we are commanding a man read or call, we'll say tikra, to a woman tikrei, and to a group of people tikreu. Tikra, tikrei, tikreu. So we also have a conjugation in imperative in tzivui, and it is kra to a man, kir'i to a woman, kir'u to a group of people. I can tell you that in Hebrew, in conversational Hebrew, we will use in most cases the second person for that verb. The second person, tikra, tikrei, tikreu, is the more dominant one. Kra, kir'i, kir'u, we will use in more formal situations. Most likely that it will appear somewhere on a billboard or a particular message or letter. Negative imperative. So negative imperative, second person future tense will always be used. First of all, we will take the conjugation of second person future tense, and then we will start to make it negative imperative. The word lo becomes al to form a negative imperative statement. So for example, we know that we need to use tikra, tikrei, tikreu. Therefore, in order to make it a negative imperative statement, we will say al tikra, don't read or don't call. Al tikrei, don't call or don't read. Or al tikreu. Al tikra, al tikrei, al tikreu. So once again, what are the prepositions that are used with the verb likro? Et, when we are reading something that is definite. Le, when we're calling someone or when we're asking a person what's his name in more casual situations. And al, which is about, to read about someone or to read about something. So the verb likro as the verb to read. So let's see how we will use the verb likro as the verb to read. So in that case, we will use the prepositions et and al. First of all, we'll need to enrich our vocabulary, our otzar milim. A book, sefer, sefer. A magazine, magazine, magazine. A newspaper, iton, iton. A news article, katava, katava. An educational article, ma'amar, ma'amar. Let's refresh our memories and look how do we conjugate the verb likro in present tense. Masculine singular, ani kore, ata kore, hu kore. Feminine singular, ani koret, at koret, hi koret. Masculine plural, אנחנו קוראים, אתם קוראים, הם קוראים. Feminine plural, אנחנו קוראות, אתן קוראות, הן קוראות. קורא, קוראת, קוראים, קוראות. So you're going to see in front of you a sentence in English. The exercise goes like this. Pause the video every time you see the English sentence and say it out loud in Hebrew. Try your best to translate it. And after you finished, click on the play button and see if you got it right. What do you read? מה אתה קורא? מה אתה קורא? I read a book. אני קורא ספר. What do you read? מה את קוראת? מה את קוראת? I read a magazine. אני קוראת מגזין. אני קוראת מגזין. What do you guys read? מה אתם קוראים? מה אתם קוראים? We read a newspaper. אנחנו קוראים עיתון. אנחנו קוראים עיתון. What do you girls read? מה אתן קוראות? מה אתן קוראות? We read an article. אנחנו קוראות כתבה. אנחנו קוראות כתבה. Okay, so that's enough for part 1, and we're going to continue learning the verb likro in the next parts, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to my channel, and click on the notification bell so you won't miss any of my videos. And I'll see you guys in the next part.